Welcome back to my channel, Learn to Trade. This is what I'm looking at this week. I'm more interested in US oil, UKOIL, JBN225 for the buys. Also Euro, AUD, GBPAUD, Euro New Zealand, and that will be it. Then that's it. That's what I'm looking for this week. So let's go into the charts. I've already marked out my levels for this. I'm looking for us to shift to the upside from here. Now, I normally like starting from a very high time frame monthly to start my analysis. So the monthly to me is looking bullish. Took liquidity here, swing high, we displaced above it, left a fair value gap. So I expect this month to not close like this. I expect this month to close up. I expect us to close above this swing low, this candle's low. This is June's low. I expect us to go above June's low and close. Then I'll be looking for this liquidity here. And this is how the weekly is looking like. Not looking bad. Then the daily is looking like this. What I wanted to see on Friday was a run into this and go lower, then we can start running up. But if we get to run above here, this swing high, okay, we now have another swing high here, but I would love us to displace above this one and leave a fair value gap. Then I'll go in for the buys at the retracement into that price leg, and I'll be targeting all the way to these highs. We had a very clean pullbacks, a very clean sell formation on this market, so I expect to see it give us the same thing for the buys. Then I have the same bias for USD, Euro USD. I expect us to close below. This is I think June's high also. So I expect us to close, yeah, that is June's high. I expect us to close below it and give a selling formation. So what I want to see before I go into a sell is a displacement taken at a swing low. We'll have 1, 2, same thing on USD card. So if we displace, leave a fair value gap. So we have about how many days left? 8 days for the month to end. So let's see how it books. Then now for my US oil, I called a level for last week that it will possibly continue buying from. I think this was it. I also saw another entry. I think I called here. You can go to the last video and check. This was my buy from here and SL from here, and you can see it peaked, dug in deep, displaced, took another one from here, SL here, and had a good run. So all of these entries now, the stop are below here, so I took another one and they pull back into this low because we swept. Now look at how the daily is looking like. So we ran into this fair value gap. You can see swing high, displacement, fair value gap. So then we displaced higher on the 1 hour time frame. That was what I used. Look at liquidity, cleared it. So I noticed something about US oil. It always retraces deep. So it retraced deep, then started running up. It also retraced deep here. I also bought from at the entrance of this fair value gap. So it traded into this other fair value gap. You can see it retraces deep. If you backtest it, you see it's always pulling back deep before it traces, before it continues going the direction. So now, why am I looking for it to come to this possible area? Is using the 4 hours. Using the 4 hours. So I'll categorize this as my order block, and we took liquidity here. We have a displacement here and a fair value gap. So if it drops down into this order block, I would be a buyer, and I can put my stop here and target what high. Now, if you look at this year's oil, the weekly time frame, you can see that it is very clean. It is very bullish. So these are the levels I'm looking for: 1, 2, 3. So the same thing with UKOIL, they are the same. Buying them, the two of them. So it's the same, but I'm buying more of US oil than UK oil. So you can look at it and see if you find it interesting to join the run up. Another one is JPN 225. These are the pairs that I'm looking out to trade this week. Now, for this pair, if you look at the monthly, starting from the monthly to look at this pair, so we took this low fair value gap. So my possible target is here, this high, or this high, or even this week's high, this month's high. So we pulled back down inside this fair value gap. Even though we don't get to close above here, above this candle's low, I still believe that this market is still going to buy. So why I bought from there is if inside that fair value gap, so I'm going down, you can use this, you can frame this, but inside this other block now, although I don't like the close, how the candle looks, but I used this to take my trade. Now, this other smaller line is a 1 hour inverted fair value gap that I marked out. 1 hour inverted fair value gap, and it held price here. And one beautiful thing about this is that when price always comes to this level, it rejects. You can see there is no close below it. So we have all these candles inside. There is no closure outside. Look at the 4 hours of it. Look at how it's looking. So I took a long from here at the other block to go up, although it's still ranging. So I have an alert on this asset. So I want a displacement leaving the fair value gap above here or here. So I will still continue buying. First of all, for this new week, I'm looking for this high. I'm looking forward for us to trade to this high, but I'm bullish to we take out all these levels on this asset class. I'm very, very bullish on it. This force that this drop used to come down, the selling candles were just heavy. I know it will scare a lot of people out from the buys, but I anticipated that it would hold or halt from here and retrace back up. But let's see what happens when the market opens. Hopefully, we'll get a displacement. If we don't, we'll also use other entry method, maybe from the hourly chart or the 4 hours. We can also still use the daily, depending on how it closes. So that is it for this. Then another pair that I'm looking at is EURAUD. EURAUD. Like I said, I've already marked out all my levels. I want to buy from this low. Now, if I'm looking at the monthly chart, so these are the levels I'm looking at. So what I want to see is us running, taking this low, tapping into this zone, and continue going up. This one is to 5. Now, this candle took this candle's low. So another point of liquidity will be at the top since the low is taken out. So this will be a point of interest here. But look at what this market is doing. It's stalling. It's not moving out from that range. It's just ranging since this is May till now. It's just has been inside this range bound. So what I want to see is a sweep. If we sweep this liquidity here, then we'll reject to the upside. Now, the daily and the 4 hours are really looking good. This is how the daily looks like. So my entry is here. I want us to run these lows into this fair value gap one last time. Then we rally. This is what I want to see, for us to dig into this and push back up. Now, these were my first targets and second. Then from there, I'll see where it will take us, where price will possibly take us. Then I have this information with on GBPAUD, just the same formation. Now, from the monthly, we'll have a fair value gap here. Now, I'm looking at this. This is another block. I'm looking at this price running into this other block. This is a monthly other block. But if I'm dropping down another other block weekly, if I'm dropping down again on the daily, another one. So now on the 4 hours time frame, I really want to see price retrace from here. This is where I'm looking at price to retrace from. So at the entrance of this fair value gap, that's this entry right here. So what I want to see is just a weak dive into this area, then a rejection immediately. It might also not get to that point. It might reject from here, but I would want us to see a lower low from here. From this low, I want us to come lower, maybe inside this weekly fair value gap, or is it a monthly fair value gap, or we dig deep into it, possibly get to this point and pick me. And while I'm watching it, if I see a change somewhere here, I would also join it. Then I'm also looking at GBP New Zealand is not really now. Euro New Zealand, it might, I don't know, it's already in my zone. I didn't take it on Friday because of I didn't want to stay in the market, taking the market and being at loss on that Friday. But at the market open after the first 1 hour, I would see I'm looking at this to hold. Now, whenever I'm bullish on Euro AUD, I'm always also having a bullish bias in Euro New Zealand. Now, what I think might happen is if this is going to rush down, this might stall. If Euro AUD is going to rush down to that level, this might stall a little. I hope it doesn't clear this level, but I still think that this would hold this price up. Still think will retrace to the upside from here. Now, the monthly has the same kind of formation. It looks okay. We have taken this. So the opposite direction is where I'm looking at this price going to. Daily liquidity, I love how we cleared this. So I'm looking at this to retrace from here. We might have a another, it's been on a range bound, or can also see a short candles or pull back up. That's about it. So these are just the pairs I'm looking at for this week. But the only pair I'm more interested in is GBPN225 and USOIL. Those are the two I'm more interested in, USOIL and GBPN225. To buy them, then keep an eye on EURUSD and USD CAD to see if we can have a sell information for, it will be possibly for next month. Obviously, it's going to be the sell. If we're going to have a sell formation this month, it's obviously going to be for next month to sell it. And on this, if we drop down and tap into this zone, no problems. Then if we displace above here, leave another fair value gap. If it's going to pull back, I will join it to get to this target. Then from here, I would see if it would want to rally to this, then to this other high. I think that will be all-time highs. But let's see what happens. But after this point and this, we might see a pullback. It depends on what the market is showing us. By then, we will know what to do. Then I also have for gold. For gold is kind of, I don't know, but at this point, I'll be looking out for sell formations. I'm not really, would I say, bullish on this? No. I'm not looking forward for it to continue going up. I'm looking for it to crash down. But there is not much information to say that this is what I'm looking at it to do. So I would require more information from I require more data, more candles to print for me to know the possibility of us going down. But I am thinking that dollar is going to strengthen. And if that happens, I will be looking for a sell formation on gold. So that is it. This is all that I'm looking at for this week. I don't know, whatever you're looking at, you can drop it in the comments. I can also review it and tell you what I think about it, where I think it will possibly go to. And until next time, be safe.